artists! Today we're going to do a project that's really cool because we're going to make some art that helps us with our math. Now this is my finished project and I'm going to show you how it works. And so today we're doing a couple of cool art techniques. We're doing something called printmaking by using stamps. You might have heard it as stamping, as well as collage and mixed media to make a mixed media magic math art project. So in your distance learning bags, if you're watching this, you're probably a distance learning friend, you should have received a couple of things. You should have a transparent sheet. You see how it's see-through? We call that transparent. Really cool, huh? And you should have gotten 2 pages that look almost exactly the same, except one of them has dots on the top. And then you should have also gotten a little foam stamp. Mine is an actual stamp. Yours is probably a shape. If you have stamps at your house, you can use one of those. As long as it is small, do you see how mine is much, much smaller than my hand? It's going to need to be small, no big ones. Okay, now you're also going to need some supplies from your house. You're going to need glue. I like to use bottle glue. You can use glue stick if that's what you have. You can even use tape if that's all you have. In fact, you will need some tape. You see where I put mine. Well, any kind of tape will do. I'll get mine out when I have it. You're going to need a marker. And you're going to need scissors. Now this is optional. If you have a marker, that's all you need. But if you have something called a stamp pad at your house, someone in your family might have a stamp pad. It looks like this. You're going to need to ask an adult. And if they say that they have it, then you can use it. And that will make it very, very easy and a lot faster for you. Then you'll also want, so that you can clean up afterwards, a paper towel and water. Okay? Now that you should have all your supplies ready to go, we are going to start. So you've got your 2 pieces of paper. I want you to put the blank one aside and get the one with the dots. Now let's look closely at those dots. Can you tell what number these dots are going to make? Well, let me draw them for you. I'm going to connect the dots and you can see what number it's going to make. Do you see? What number is that? That's a 1. And we're going to make the other number. I'm going to connect my dots. And I just made a 0. A 1 and a 0 together is what number? 10. Good, it's a 10. So on this page, we are going to use our stamp. I'm going to use my leaf to make 10 of the same image. So let me show you how this works. First, I'm going to show you how to use a stamp with a marker, if that's all you have. I take my marker, and I'm going to color on one side of the stamp. See how I'm coloring directly on top of it? Do you notice how it's not going inside? I'm not going in the stamp. I'm just doing on the very top. And then I'm going to press on my paper. And when I move the marker away, look at that! So I'm going to do it one more time. This time I'm going to color it again. You have to color it fresh pretty much every time because the ink from the marker goes onto the page. I'm going to stamp it. When I'm stamping, I'm pushing hard. And I lift it up. Oh, and that's even better. Now you're going to keep doing that 10 times. If you have a stamp pad, let me show you how that's going to work. My stamp pad is brown, so you'll be able to tell the difference. If you have a stamp pad, you take your stamp and you push it onto the pad. Push. You lift it up. And then you push, push down to the paper. And do you see how I now have 3 so far? I have 3 and I need 10. So I need to keep going. And I'm going to use my stamp pad because it is faster. But if all you have is marker, please do that. And make sure that you count and you're careful and that you have it 10 times. So while I was talking, I did it 2 more times. And now I have how many? 5. I have 5 stamps. So I'm going to pause my video and do it 5 more times. You should pause your video and do your 10 times too. Okay, I have stamped 10 times. Now something I forgot to mention, you need to make sure all of your 10 go in this middle rectangle. In the middle rectangle, okay? So I've got all 10 in my middle rectangle, and now I am good to keep going. So what I'm going to do is get my second page, my blank one, and I'm going to make another number. Now I get to pick any number 1 through 9. 1 through 9. So pick your favorite number. I'm going to do 3. I'm going to do 3 as my favorite number. And do you see how I can put these 2 pages and they look very similar? See that? On this one, I'm going to draw a 3 that's just as big as I drew the 10. Okay, so in the top space, I made a 3. You can do any number you want. If you want to do 7, do a 7. If you want to do 2, do a 2. Whatever you want. And now I'm going to leave the middle empty. In fact, I'm going to make a big X there so I remember not to draw and not to do anything. And then let's think for a minute. If Mrs. Hendricks has 10 leaves on the page that says 10, how many leaves is she going to make on the page that says 3? I'm going to make 3. If you made a page that says 7, you should do 7. If you made a page that says 4, you should do 4. So I'm going to get my stamp out again, and either my marker or my pad, and I'm going to make this stamp 3 times on the bottom of the 3 worksheet. Let me show you what I mean. I've got my 3 worksheet, and I'm going to put 3 stamps down here. I'm still using the same stamp. We only want to use the same stamp every time. Even if you have 5 cool stamps that you like, you should only use one of them for this project. Okay? Use your favorite one. All right. Ta-da! Okay. Now, this is also important. It's time for me to wash off my stamp. I don't want to use a dirty stamp. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I have here a wet paper towel. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp the wet paper towel. But I'm going to stamp it a bunch. See that? And then after I've stamped it, I'm going to fold it so that I have a clean side. And I'm actually going to go ahead and wipe until my stamp is the same color that it was when I got it. This is important. If you're going to use an art supply, you have to clean it afterwards. That's one of the most important parts of art. Now it's clean. Ta-da! So I'm ready to move on. And I have my tape. So you might want to get a family member's help with this, okay? If you want to be done for today, you can pause the video and work on this again later, because I don't want you to mess up. But if you're ready to keep going, you're going to put your clear paper on top of the paper that says 10. Right, make sure the edges are lined up exactly. Exactly. And then you're going to get a piece of tape. I'm using big tape. You can use small tape. And you're going to put half of the tape on top of your clear paper and then fold it down, and we're going to smooth it out on the back. It makes a funny noise. So it should have a clear paper that flips up and down. Now the next thing you're going to do is cut these out. Now this part's important. When you cut out your number, you need to make sure that you cut out some white space around it, okay? And it doesn't have to be exact. In fact, it shouldn't. Try and cut a rectangle. If you did a 1 because you want to do an 11, make sure you cut a big rectangle around it. The other numbers should be fine. Okay, so I've got my 1. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to glue it onto the paper on top of my 0. But do you see how I'm gluing it onto the plasticky clear paper? Don't glue it on top. Don't lift the plastic paper up and glue it down here. No, no, no. Glue it on top of the clear plasticky paper. If you're using your glue bottle, you'll want to put 1 dot in each corner. A dot is a lot. And then press it down carefully. If you're using a glue stick, you can be careful and do it any way you want. Now, what I want to do next, on the paper where I have my 3 leaves, I'm going to cut out the 3 leaves. Notice how, again, I'm leaving a lot of space, and that's okay. You don't have to make it perfect. You probably won't want to. 2. 3. And just like I did with my number, I'm going to put a little glue dot on the top, the sides, the bottom, the middle. I have 4 dots, and I'm going to glue it in the bottom section. Okay? I'm going to pause and finish. So you do that. You pause and glue your stamps down. Okay, so this is what my 2 pieces of paper look like. This is the one that I had the 3 on. I cut out the number and I cut out the 3 stamps, and then I glued them on top of the plastic paper. Now this is how our project works. We have 3 leaves. 3 leaves plus 10 leaves equals 13 leaves. What about the other way around? 10 leaves plus 3 leaves equals 13 leaves. Let's count and make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. See? 3. Oh my goodness. 3 plus 10 is 13. The 3 is just added right on top of that 0. It's really cool. You can do subtraction with it too. I have 13, and if I take away 3, I get 10. I have 13. If I take away 10, I get 3. This is really fun, and it works no matter what number you picked. If you picked 7, it's still going to work. So have fun, practice your math, and let me know if you have any questions.